Hello everyone! Welcome to my studio, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex Chapple and today I'm going to be talking about all of the art that I made in April 2024. I'm super proud of myself. I have a lot of art that I made in April. I was specifically pretty disappointed in what I was able to accomplish in March, and I really wanted to step it up and make the work and paint and draw more, and I definitely did that, so I'm super excited to get into it. I'll start with my sketchbook work. I'll flip you around so you can look at my desk and walk you through everything I did in my sketchbooks this month. And then I'll come back here to talk about the paintings that I completed and show some photos of them because they're all off with new owners and in places where they can be seen. So let me get you turned around. Let's look at the sketchbook works. Alrighty, let's take a look at my sketchbooks first. And I'm going to start with this one. So instead of going in time order, I'm going to go by sketchbook order. This is one that I had already started last month. So I'm pretty sure that we talked about this page and that this is what's next. So I had gotten these stickers from a museum like gift shop, and they're little Renoir like paintings on little stickers, and I just thought that'd be fun for my sketchbook to like be able to put them in and draw them whenever I just want to work in my sketchbook and I'm not sure what to draw. So this is kind of my attempt at recreating this little sticker. And I've also been thinking about birds more and just looking at pictures and doing little studies of birds. These are from the very beginning of the month. This is an art hang party. We did movie posters, but dogs. It was so fun, and like the references were so funny. Melissa went and like photoshopped dog faces onto movie posters. And I didn't get like the whole poster for a lot of them. A lot of people put in like the name of the movie and stuff into it too, but I wanted to focus on just like little characters and their faces. These are blind contours that we did kind of to get like warmed up and loosened up. Some more. This is probably my favorite. This is Melissa's dog Simon. It's Jaws, but like just his little teethies. So yeah, those are fun, super silly. And then some quicker things. You'll see I'm using this like nice heavy paper watercolor type, or like a mixed media sketchbook for a lot of different things. And I started thinking around this time that I think it'd be nice to get another sketchbook so I can use this one more for painting and like just heavier things that you need the thick paper for, and then get a sketchbook with thinner paper that I can use for like drawing and just like scribbling and using my colored pencils and everything. So I think this is where I was like, am I wasting my paper? Which is like, it's fine. It's really not a big deal. I just didn't end up finishing this one and didn't really feel like going back to it. But yeah, I ended up deciding around the middle of the month to get a new sketchbook with a lighter paper. This one is from the eclipse day. So on the 8th, I went out to Government Canyon, which is like 30 minutes outside of San Antonio. It's in the path of totality, and where I live isn't, so we didn't have to drive very far. There really wasn't like crazy traffic or anything. It was a really, really cool experience, like to see the full darkness. Even though it was cloudy, we got the full darkness, and there was just a lot of wildflowers and a lot of cool plants and stuff. I noted some of the wildflowers and butterflies that I saw from some guides and things that I was looking at, and then this is kind of what my view was from where I was sitting and waiting for the eclipse, and then some little studies of some of the wildflowers. These are ideas for a quilt project that I am planning to work on. I'm not going to go into too much about that. If I get it more set and get my ideas more straight, I will want to talk about that in a video at some point as I kind of like actually get working on it. Some more wildflower studies, and this kind of gave me the idea to make this one. So these are some of the wildflowers we saw at Government Canyon. I think I pretty much saw all of them. Some of them I might have kind of misidentified, but I actually recorded my process of doing this, and I'm gonna try to like speed it up and make a reel or something. I'm trying to like get more into like short form content and things like that. So I was like, I'm gonna sit down and like do the thing and make a little spread. And it took me about 25 minutes. So I have a 25-minute video of me doing this. And then I cut it to try to make a short. I haven't posted it or anything, but maybe I still will. Yeah, some little sewing stuff. This is all just colored pencil on this page. And this is another art hang party. I didn't do my little title, but we did landscapes, and we selected a color palette and did like a specific amount of time per color. So like this is the first one that I tried to do, and we only did 10 seconds per color. So I really didn't have time to like finish my page. So that's why I split this one up. I did 10 seconds per color for these three. And then this is just 2 minutes. You can use like whatever color, whenever. So they're not super clear landscapes. They're really just scribbling, but it was a lot of fun to do. These, I made the landscapes make a little more sense. This is my color palette I was working with. So I started to get into the idea of like, okay, I want this tree to be like black or dark brown. So I layered the colors to make it start to actually look like a landscape. This was a 5-minute one, and not super clear, but I like how the colors are layered. And another 5-minute one. And this one again, like I did get some good darks from like layering those colors. Right here I was testing out my Posca paint markers that I have, and some of them just like don't work, which is frustrating. So I got rid of some and kept the ones that were giving me solid lines. I want to like practice more illustration, more abstract, and just kind of get out of my comfort zone and just start drawing more and making more work. Like I was really in the mindset of like making a lot more work this month, so just being like looser with it, and that felt really good. I'm really proud that I like made so many drawings this month. Paintings too. This is a sketch from where I was sitting at one of the markets that I did. You could see across the street to this store that's like a florist, and they have chocolates and stuff there. So that's like the top of their store. I didn't really finish like the rest of the drawings, so I filled this in with my little bubbles. And these are lilies from probably the internet. I don't remember what I was looking at to draw those, but I like how those came out. More testing of like just like being more illustrative, playing with like what if I did more of a sticker design, like that kind of thing. And then this one is a Neocolor 2 page. I took this picture at my parents' house. I went and visited them this month, and they have this really nice like bouquet. Also, this was like not part of it. But then this one flower is just like completely fallen down, and I thought it was so funny and cute, so I had to put that in here. This is swatches and testing colors for the first round of the painting competition that I did. So I know I mentioned it in the intro, and I'll talk about the painting more at the end, but I was just playing with what do I need to use in my palette to get the colors that will go with my photo. And I'm really glad that I did that practice. I really knew like what I was doing and what I was looking for whenever I was mixing colors, and that really helped me to get like bright colors in that first piece. Also, once I got to the venue, it was kind of dark and kind of hard to see. So it was great that I knew that like my colors were gonna work. And I didn't have to like fully see the exact tone I was getting, because I could kind of trust my paints and my practice that I did. So I'm so happy that I did this. This came out really cool. This one, I had drawn this and then I had leftover paint, so I just did this crazy background because of that. And then this spread I did at my last market just a few days ago. I brought my sketchbook and stuff to paint. This I did in gouache and a little bit of Neocolor too. I thought it'd be nice to bring something to work on. The last market that I did with the same company, it ended up being fairly slow. And so I was like, you know, I'll paint, and then I don't need to worry about like there just not being people around, because I can start to get a little bit stressed whenever I'm like, I'm not doing anything, I'm not selling anything, like, why am I here? Oh my goodness. So I was like, you know, painting is my comfort thing. I bring knitting a lot to markets, but I was like, I think painting will be even better because it might encourage people to come and talk to me and ask me about my paintings. Because I have like my paintings and prints that I'm trying to sell. So then I'm like actively painting. I can kind of see the process and be interested. And I think that it went really well. I sold more, and people were super nice about it and interested and talked to me. And then I had something to talk about, so I felt less awkward. Like I had something to do with my hands, that kind of thing. So this was really good, and I'm gonna try to do this for other like big markets that I do, because even if it is really busy and I don't actually end up painting, like that's okay. It still kind of gives people something to ask me about, and like usually you'll set up and then you'll have a little bit of wait time before people actually start coming. So then I have something to do during that time, and I have something started that people can look at. But these are just photos from my camera roll. This is more photos from my camera roll. This bug was like on my neighbor's tent and like all up in her setup, and it was really funny. We were like laughing about it the whole day, and so I had to immortalize him in my sketchbook. And the rest of these are from my camera roll, and this one is a lemonade that I got at that market. And then I also did this at that market. It's gouache and Neocolor too, playing with like doing the outline more and making it more illustrative. And yeah, I really like how that one came out too. So I did a ton of work in this sketchbook, and I'm like almost done with this one now, which is crazy. So I have bought a new sketchbook with like paper that I can just like draw on more, the thinner paper. So this one, I'll probably will finish this in May, but I'm just gonna focus more on like painting and stuff in it for the last little bit. This is my new sketchbook that I bought because I wanted to just be able to draw more. So I started this on the 17th. Plans and sketches and doodles and scribbles. I wanted to like remind myself it's like, this is not serious, it's just for fun, and there might be some really cool drawings in here, but it's okay if it's got a lot of scribbles and stuff in it. Like this has so many pages, and this was not expensive, so it's like no pressure. I think that's good for me. So these are just things that were on my desk. Some these are fake fake carnations from HEB. They're these. I bought those for my still life for my first like competition painting, and they're so fun. And then this is one of those things that like actually came out so cool, but since it's just colored pencil, like it's totally fine on this paper. This is a Scribble Brigade, which is a like live YouTube video that Sophie McPike does, and she gathers references. It's kind of like Art Hang Party. I think like Sophie and Melissa are like friends, and Sophie like started doing this first, but she does it partly on Patreon too, but then she does some for like the public on YouTube Live, like once a month, I think. And so this is the first one that I had done, but it was vintage stamps, and so these I really did the stamps, and then for these I just kind of did the images on them. But yeah, I think they're so cute, and the way this spread came out is so much fun. And these are 3 minutes each, just with a colored pencil. This spread is from Baton Rouge. I was visiting my family and went to get coffee with my sister. So these are our coffees and a scone that we got. I really like these. And then these I don't like as much, but just stuff that was like around us in the cafe. And then these were from my camera roll. So this is that flower that was falling down. And then this is a little bouquet of roses that my sister set up like the night before. And then in the morning, like it had just kind of like flopped over, and I thought it was really cute. Some fish. So I'm thinking about like fish and birds and just like drawing more kinds of different things. And so I feel like you can really tell like these were like pretty ugly. Like they get better. This one, then this one, then this one. And then these came out pretty cool. These were from my camera roll too. One of the like gas stations that I stop at going to Louisiana, they like have a giant fish tank. So this is a catfish. I don't know what this is, but that's what he looked like. And this is something else. And this is from my camera roll, again from the drive from Texas to Louisiana. It's like at a rest stop whenever you cross the Louisiana border. There's this really pretty walkway and like this water, and it says do not feed alligators, which is just so funny. And I wish I would have seen an alligator, but I didn't. This is kind of in the back of my parents' house. I was sitting out there with my sister while she was working on some art stuff. And then this is from my camera roll. This is from their magnolia tree in their front yard. Yeah. Oh, and then these are some sketches of some Fiesta medals. I was thinking about, for the art competition, doing Fiesta medals for the second piece. I'm glad I decided not to do that, and went with something that went better with my first piece. But yeah, I was just kind of sketching them and like looking at them. Yeah, so that is that sketchbook. Let's go through this big one really quick too. There's just a few things in here. So this is just leftover paint, and I'm just kind of, I don't know, no big deal, just playing with it, making shapes. These are just little sketches from life that I did at my house because I had bought flowers to set up my still life for that first piece for the competition. And I just used like a Sharpie or something, and I was just drawing them really quickly so I could kind of study them and look at them before I went into the competition. This is actually just ideas for like things that I can paint, because I'm thinking about, okay, I want to paint like more natural things, like stick with my inspiration that I love and the things that I love to paint, but like what else can I incorporate? Like do more like nature and landscapes, more birds, and like more of the things that I love, like incorporating that into my work. So I just made like this kind of, what do you call it? Chart? I don't know, map thing with just like more ideas. Here are some birds that I just had some pictures from online, just doing little studies, and that's it for this one. Let me flip you back around and I'll tell you about the paintings that I did this month, because there are a few. Alrighty, that was all of my sketchbook work, so I want to tell you about the paintings that I've made, and I have a little list. So on the 2nd, I finished a pet portrait of Merida, so I'll put a picture of her up here. That one was like 11 by 14, and I really like how that one came up. She's a pitty, and I'm partial to the pitties. On the 10th, I worked on my knitting hands painting, which is this one that sits behind me. I don't know if you can tell that I've put in a little bit of progress on that. I'll put a picture of it up here so that you can see it bigger too. It's still not done. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I'm leaning towards restarting and taking a different, like taking my own reference photo with different colors, because I think the colors are not speaking to me like they used to. But that's okay. On April 11th, I finished another pet portrait of a German short-haired pointer named Rip. So I actually don't think I actually got a good picture of him, but it came out really cute, and I have like a quick video of me like dotting on the eyes because I was gonna try to make a reel and I didn't. That one came out really good. Oh, and then I had that painting competition first round on the 18th of April. But before that, I fixed the giant sunset that I had made for my parents. I talked about it in my January video. I was doing this giant sunset, and I wanted to change some of the colors. So I did sort of another layer on that and finished it up and brought it to my parents' house. So that is complete. I'll put a picture of that one up here. That is a 3-foot by 4-foot painting. So I didn't finish all of that this month. It was pretty much done in January, and it sat on the wall in my living room, and this month I just finished it up and took it to my parents' house. Yeah, okay, so April 18th was the first round of this painting competition. This was crazy. So to kind of set the scene, there were 14 artists that had entered, so anyone can enter, and it was downtown, and it's Fiesta right now in San Antonio, so there's a lot of events going on downtown, people walking around, and just a lot going on. So we were in a public space, so people could come and walk and look at what we were doing, and we all had about 4 hours to complete a 2-foot by 3-foot painting. So I took a reference photo. The theme was just Fiesta colors, so I took a reference photo in my backyard of all these flowers that I had gotten from HEB, and I did some practice in my sketchbook that I had shown, and this is my painting that I made for round 1. I'm so happy with how this one came out. I am surprised that it's that good. And I know that I am good at realistic painting. I know that I'm good at flowers, but I was really worried about this event. It was loud, it was crowded, and I didn't know if I would be able to really focus, and I don't have a good idea of how long my paintings take me. So I didn't know if I would be able to get enough detail in the 4 hours. But I kind of learned in a painting class that I took that kind of how to bring detail to everything at the same time. I was able to get my outline in, and then get the major tones and shapes and get the flowers in, and then that was maybe an hour or 2 in, my picture is pretty much there, and I was able to just pick out spots that I wasn't as into and fix colors and add things, and I really love how it came out. I was really happy with it. So after this first round, there was a public vote to see who the top 4 artists were, and then there was a final round. So there was voting on Instagram, and there was voting in person, and everyone was super supportive of my work. There was a lot of artists there, because it was also a big art show. There was art all around by a bunch of different artists in the city. So there's a lot of artists there who talked to me and introduced themselves and stuff, and it was a really cool experience, and people were really supportive of that piece and really loved it. So yeah, that piece got me to the final round. So then a week later, I competed again and did another 2-foot by 3-foot painting. But before that, I did a small commission for a friend. She wanted a strawberry for her mom. So I have that strawberry that I've talked about a few times with the blue background, but that's on a wood panel. You can see the wood on the sides. And I've done another little canvas painting for her mom before, so she just wanted it to be a strawberry but be the same size and the same type of canvas as the one that she already has. So I did a 10-inch by 10-inch strawberry with a yellow background. Came out super cute. I finished that one on the 19th. I started it before the first round. And then on the 21st of April, I was in Baton Rouge with my family, and I worked on some small magnolia pieces. My mom has been wanting me to make these small magnolia pieces for her to give to friends, and like there's a store in Baton Rouge that my mom like knows the owner, and she wants me to maybe give her some to sell. So I'm kind of playing with like how I want to do them. So I finished these 3 magnolia paintings on that day, on the 21st, and I've already shipped this off to my mom so that she can give them to her friends. And then last but certainly not least, on the 28th, it was the final round of the Battle of the Brushes art competition. So I had to make another 2 foot by 3 foot painting, and I took a reference photo. I went with more fruit themed. I wanted for Fiesta to do like agua fresca, margarita type of like still life vibes. So I have my little margarita glasses, and I bought a bunch of fruit from H-E-B, chopped it up, and set up this like cool still life. And I knew that it would be challenging, but also I had kind of boosted my confidence from how much detail and color I was able to get into the first piece. So I took my reference photo, I'll put it up so you can see, and I just figured I would brighten up the colors some, especially the background, to make it look like outside, more Fiesta colors and that kind of thing. So went and painted for 4 hours again. There was even more like people and stuff all around, but everyone was so nice. Everyone was loving this painting. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, you're so fast, you're so good. And it was just like so crazy, like so much energy, and it was so exciting, but also like everyone was looking at me. But this is my finished painting and I love it, and everyone was so nice. Everyone loved it so much. Like it's very like San Antonio, but also still very me. And yeah, I'm super happy with it. So I finished that in the 4 hours, which was crazy, and I was so tired, and it was crazy. And y'all, I won. I got first place in the competition. And like, that's so crazy. Like, what? I didn't even know if I wanted to enter, because I'm like just kind of an introvert, and I was like, ooh, that would be a lot. But also like, I know that I'm good at painting, and I know that I'm like quick. Like whenever I took painting at UTSA, my teacher was like, oh, you're fast. Oh, you're fast. Like you're good at that. So I was like, I think I can do it. Like I think I can do well in this competition and meet artists and make some cool pieces. Y'all, it's crazy. So crazy. So yeah, all of these paintings, that incredible accomplishment, I like cannot even believe it. Like I feel so confident about my art practice right now, about my painting, and I'm just ready to like paint even more. I'm ready to get out there more and like meet more people. The day after this final battle, I went to a market and I sold an original painting, which never happens to me at markets, like never. So that was just like, I just am feeling so good about everything, and it was a super awesome month for art making. So yeah. Yeah, if you're watching this, especially if you've been watching the past few months, you know, March was not like this. March, I felt like I didn't really make a lot of work. I wasn't really like feeling good about it at the end of the month, and I was really able to turn that around, and I'm really proud of myself. So hopefully I can keep this up and keep up the momentum and make some more nice paintings in May. I am going to be traveling for a week starting tomorrow. Today's April 30th, so I'm going to be gone from the 1st to the 7th. But I'm going to do some travel sketchbooking, and then I have some paintings that I would like to do whenever I get back, and one commission that I need to work on whenever I get back. So many good things coming. I also would really like to do a art business check-in. So at the beginning of the year, I made a video about my art business goals, and I have definitely strayed a lot from like what I was thinking my art was going to look like at the beginning of January versus what I'm doing now and how I'm seeing it now, which, I mean, makes sense. It's been 4 months, and like as I'm just getting this business started and just starting to do this full time, like it's gonna change and evolve. But I really liked how that video came out. So if you have not seen that, you haven't been here long, go back and watch that 2024 art goals video. I'll like link it if I can, we'll see. And then I want to do one that will be like my art business from January to April and kind of how it's changed and how I've done just like financially and like with my time management and my commissions and everything. So yeah, I think that'll be good. I was pretty discouraged at the end of like Q1 because my January to March was not great. I was really hoping to have more sales and more events and just like have done more. I felt kind of disappointed. But now at the end of April was such a good month for me. I made more money than I did January, February, March put together in April. And I'm just feeling so much better about my momentum and everything going forward. Like it takes time to build your practice and it takes time to build your business. And I feel more confident about it now. So what I might do is do a check-in, like whenever I come back from this trip, it'll be like January to April, and then do the next 4 months and then the next 4 months. So separating my first year of business into 3 sections instead of 4 quarters. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone who has supported me this month, everyone who has subscribed or seen me in person and talked to me and followed me on Instagram, like everyone who is here, I'm just like so excited. I feel like it's really happening for me and I'm really becoming an artist, and that feels so good. And I'm so happy that you're here to see it and for me to have someone to share like this like process and this experience, and I'm just super excited. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. If you get a chance, leave me a comment. It seriously helps so much. So you can just say Happy May Day or whatever you want, but just say hey, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.